23 Lexus RX 350 courtesy of Bobby Ray Hall Lexus in Mechanicsburg, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. And so we are in this one today because the RX has been completely redesigned for the 2023 model year. They are currently #1 in sales when it comes to the luxury midsize SUV category, beating out Acura MDX, BMW X5, just to name a couple of them. And this marks the start of the 6th generation RX as well. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so there are several trim levels for the 2023 RX 350. First one being the base, starting at $48,550, premium for $50,550, premium plus, which is the one we have today, starting at $53,150, luxury for $56,550, the F Sport handling all-wheel drive then for $57,750. So besides that last trim level, obviously all of those other trims actually come standard with front-wheel drive. If you wanted to add all-wheel drive, you can do that. Simply add $1,600 then to any of those prices. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant is going to be the same. Powering the RX 350 is a 2.4 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, putting out 275 horsepower at 6,000 RPM, 317 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,700 RPM. Power sent to the front wheels or all wheels through an 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters. 0 to 60 time is going to differ whether or not you go with the front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive puts you at 7.6 seconds. All-wheel drive is going to put you at 7.2, with MPG numbers coming in at 22 in the city, 29 highway for the front-wheel drive, 21 city, 28 on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking premium unleaded fuel. All right, so before we do any kind of fun acceleration or paddle shifter test here in our RX 350, I wanted to mention to you guys the drive modes because they are available. To access them, it's kind of tricky. There's actually, so you look at the big infotainment screen, there's going to be 6 little squares. You're going to go ahead and hit that. That's going to give you access to those drive modes. It will include normal, eco, sport, and custom, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. And so now, having got all of that out of the way, what we are going to do next here is go ahead and put it in sport driving mode. I'm going to find a straightaway first. Let's test out the paddle shifters here and let's see how quickly they are going to react for us. All right, so before we do this paddle shifter test, I wanted to mention one quick thing for you guys. To put it in full manual shift mode, because that does exist here, just simply slide the shifter all the way to the back straight, and that's going to give you that full manual shift mode. It's going to tell you what gear you're in up on the digital portion of the gauges there. So now, having found our straightaway here, let me go ahead and get down to first gear. Let me go ahead and switch it to sport driving mode in 3, 2, 1, yeah! This thing's quick. Oh, shift. Okay, definitely a delay with the paddle shifters, but having said that, like I said, this thing is quick, even with the paddle shifters. So I do still want to test out the acceleration though without me having full control here. So I'm just going to slide the shifter all the way to the back and to the left. That's going to give back full control to the RX here. And let's do one more acceleration test here with the RX 350 having full control. And let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, in 3, 2, 1, giddy up. Ah! Oh gosh. Yeah, that's plenty of an acceleration to merge you onto the highway. You know what's interesting with that acceleration? Like, you go up to 1,000 RPM because this is turbocharged. You go up to 1,000 RPM, there's like nothing. And then once 1,000 RPM gets hit, you're like, whoosh, you're like thrown in the back of the seat. It's like, boom, now the power kicks in. Here we go. So yeah, once you get past that 1,000 RPM, it is intense, son. That torque kicks in and you're just flying. So yeah, plenty of an acceleration to merge you onto the highway. Again, 0 to 60 in 7.2 seconds is definitely plenty quick for an SUV. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 13.4-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 13.4-inch solid rear discs. I did want to also mention, though, 6-piston front calipers coming on the F Sport handling trim level. That's some insanely large front calipers. That's what was on my old Ford Mustang GT, so they're quite large. And as far as that 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, that comes in at 123 feet, which is 100% plenty respectable. Let me go ahead and hit the brakes real quick. It actually leans a little bit more on the softer side of things, although like I said, that number 60, 0, and 123, that's great. That's pretty much on par for the course. A lot of SUVs sometimes will even put you in the 130s, as much as 139 feet for the Volkswagen Atlas. So 123 feet is great for the RX, so definitely no issues there. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension, in the back independent multi-link rear suspension, front and rear stabilizer bars. But I do want to mention though, the F Sport handling is going to add some suspension components, hence the handling name that it has in it, I guess. But that's going to give you an adaptive variable suspension, which is going to monitor each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it is going to tighten up the suspension during heavy cornering, really giving you the best of both worlds. So that is a heck of a suspension component to have, but also F Sport tuned performance dampers as well, so a little better handling yet again. So I did want to mention that with that particular trim level. As far as ride quality goes, it's pretty much as expected. It feels perfectly fine. It rides like a Lexus, not as smooth as an adaptive damping suspension with the F Sport handling, but it does plenty fine, so I haven't had any issues there. As far as steering feel goes, it is a noticeable difference depending upon which drive mode that you put it in. So if I were to put it in that sport driving mode, like I still have it in right now, it is a much heavier steering feel than if I were to take it out and put it in eco driving mode, so it instantly loosens up. So that's way too loosey-goosey for me. I'm actually just going to put it back to normal here, but I love the heavier steering feel in that sport driving mode, I will say that. As far as cabin noise goes, so we're going 25 miles per hour right now. There's a little bit of road noise, but as far as cabin noise, as far as wind noise, I should say, that has perfectly been at bay so far today, and it is pretty windy from time to time, so a little bit of road noise, almost no wind noise whatsoever, so I like that. Touching on visibility, it's 100% great. I can see perfectly fine out my rear view mirror, so definitely not going to have any issues there. But in addition to that, rain sensing windshield wipers do come standard on every single trim level across the board, so gotta love that. Essentially what that is whenever the RX detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So just one less thing you got to worry about there, assisting with forward visibility. To go along with that, if you were to go with that luxury trim level and up, you are also going to get a head-up display assisting with forward visibility. So right now, actually, we have it. I'm looking at my speed limit, and safety features projected super bright up onto my windshield, so better helping me keep my eyes on the road. And like I said, it's one of the brighter head-up displays I've seen in quite a while, so I'm loving that. But anyways, that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Lexus RX 350. All right, you guys, so here she is, the new 2023 Lexus RX 350, finished in copper crest, in case you were curious of our exterior color name. Pretty cool color, actually, in real life, so definitely a big fan of it. But this one has been completely redesigned for 2023. The front end looks so much better, in my personal opinion at least. It looks like nothing else on the road. It's so different, it's so unique, just like the color of this one. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the RX is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first number is the number 2, indicating that the RX 350, at least for US customers here, is built and assembled in Canada. Interesting. So anyways, fun fact for you. But let's go ahead and start up front on this one. Again, redesigned front fascia with the overhang just above the Lexus logo. Let me show that to you guys real quick because it's kind of interesting. So the hood line kind of continues down to kind of cover up that Lexus logo a little bit, so kind of interesting design element. I actually like it. I also liked how they kind of integrated the body colored grille elements to the rest of the silver grille elements up front as well. So again, looks like nothing else on the road. Big fan. But by LED headlights coming standard with LED daytime running lights, you get the automatic feature with those headlights as well, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, that will turn on automatically for you there. And automatic high beams will also come standard. So if you have your high beams on at night, and since it's a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. And then you guys can see down below, LED fog lights also coming standard for every single trim level across the board. So they also look very good, and I like that they're LEDs and not halogens, I guess, as expected these days. But it didn't used to be that way back in the day when I first started reviewing cars 8 years ago. But front air curtains to the sides help it direct air around the wheel and tire combination, and you do kind of have that matte black front lip down below as well. But again, front fascia looks so much better than previously. Not that the last generation was bad, but this new generation, it just looks dang good up front in my personal opinion. But anyways, pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of this one, silver roof rails coming standard on the premium trim level and up if you wanted them. Rear privacy glass coming standard across the board. You got some chrome window surrounds as well. Floating roof line, you guys can see that on the C-pillar. Kind of just floats into the back of the vehicle there. Take a look at the side mirrors. They are body colored, power adjustable side mirrors. They will be heated with LED integrated turn signals, and they also come with the auto tilt down feature as well. And the driver's side mirror is actually auto dimming. And again, all of that comes standard for every single trim level across the board. So that is pretty darn cool. Taking a look at the wheel setup, 19-inch 5-spoke alloys coming with the base, the premium, and the premium plus. That's what you guys are looking at, of course. 21-inch 20-spoke alloys coming with the luxury. And then 21-inch 10-spoke alloys coming with the F-Sport handling. So the other thing I really like about the RX is they made the fender surrounds body colored element as opposed to the matte black. It probably would have looked good either way, but I do like those body colored fender surrounds. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back of the RX. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, body colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. Just below that, I almost got confused there for a second. I was looking for the rear window wiper asphyxiated to the rear glass, but guess what? It's not asphyxiated to the rear glass. It pulled the old Chevy Suburban and Chevy Tahoe trick, and they hit it up underneath of that rear spoiler, so it is out of the way of your rear view. So it's going to assist with visibility because of that. So well done, Lexus. I like that design element. Of course, you got LED taillights. I love these taillights too. It's just one giant light bar essentially running from one side of the vehicle to the other. You got Lexus lettering spelled out horizontally as well. That looks good. You got some silver trim accenting found in the bottom portion of that rear fascia, and then all the way underneath you have dual exhaust outlets kind of tucked away. Wouldn't have minded if they made some chrome exhaust tips or something that shot out of the rear bumper. That's my personal style, but a lot of manufacturers are doing the tucked away exhaust outlets these days. But anyways, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Is always here is that exhaust clip. So but now since we are around to the back of the RX 350, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, there's several ways to go ahead and do that. There is a button on the key fob. There is also a button kind of by the driver's side left knee, and of course a button on the tailgate itself. But it is a power tailgate that does come standard on every single trim level of the RX 350. So I definitely like that. And the hands-free power tailgate is going to be optional for the premium trim levels and up. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 29.6 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 40-20-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down, bumping that up to 46.2 cubic feet. Then there is some LED cargo lighting back there. There's tie-down anchors. There are grocery bag hooks. There's also a 12-volt power outlet, of course. There is a cargo cover as well. And then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, but also a decent amount of in-floor storage, which you don't always get. So I like that too. You probably put an ice scraper back there or a tire inflator kit or something like that. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, this is one of the big changes for the 2023 versus the 2022 RX, is there's no third row option for 2023. You simply have 2 rows, which quite honestly is probably the right way to go for the RX, because if there was a third row, there's no way it would be usable because the rear legroom would be non-existent. But having said that, rear legroom in this one comes in at 37.4 inches. That's a respectable number for reference. I mean, even 6 feet tall, this is how much space I have back there. Rear center armrest with cup holders does come standard. There is rear ventilation back there as well. There's a couple USB charging ports to go along with all of that. And don't want to forget to mention this, optional heated and ventilated rear seats. So it's not standard, but it is optional. So if you wanted it, you got it. But then making our way to the front seats, 8-way power adjustable front seats do come standard. 10-way power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar for the luxury trim level and up. F-Sport bolstered seats, of course, for the F-Sport, and there's a big difference between the seating there. Let me tell you guys, new Lux finish is going to come with the base and the premium. Perforated leather coming with the premium plus trim level and up. That's what we got today. Heated seats coming with all trim levels, and then heated and ventilated front seats coming with the premium trim level and up. But having said that, Toyota and Lexus always do an amazing job with their seat comfort, and that is certainly no exception with the RX 350. Seat comfort has been amazing. You're definitely not going to have any issues taking this thing anything on a long road trip. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is power adjustable actually for all trim levels. You don't always find that. Leather wrapped for all trim levels as well, but I did want to mention for the premium plus trim level and up like we have, there is a wood leather combination. So we do have that. So it's subtle, but it is there. So I do like that. And then a heated steering wheel is going to come on the premium plus trim level and up as well. And we have that on right now. So thankfully we got it because it's cold out. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got your Lexus logo on the one side. Then when you flip it over, lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that silver engine start button located just to the left of the infotainment screen. Anyways, once started up, when it comes to these gauges, they look pretty darn good. They're almost like a 3D gauge cluster, but fully digital in the center portion there. I definitely like that. Got your digital speedometer, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, trip A, trip B, engine temp, basically the basics. But the cool thing about the digital gauges here is that they do change color slightly depending upon the drive mode that you put it in. So Eco is going to show up in a bunch of blue hues, normal is going to be gray, and it looks like the sport driving mode is going to be red. So that is pretty cool. But having said that, wouldn't have minded a bit more customization when it comes to those digital gauges, but they still look good, I'm just saying. But then making our way to overall interior quality, a power moonroof is going to come on the premium trim level and up. Panorama glass roof is going to be optional for all trim levels. Multicolor ambient lighting coming with the premium plus trim level and up. But having said that, that was incredibly difficult to find how to adjust that ambient lighting. You actually go into the settings and then you go to illumination, not under lights, but illumination. And then you can finally find the different colors you can choose between, but wouldn't have minded its own app or its own widget within that screen for the ambient lighting like most other manufacturers do to make it simple. So that was a lot of hopping between the screens to actually kind of find where that was located. So I'm just saying that, love that it's there though. Multi-zone climate control though, also coming standard for both driver, passenger, and the rear passengers actually as well. Ash bamboo interior trim for the premium trim level and up, love that. Black open pore wood trim for the premium trim level and up as well. Suede interior trim for the luxury trim level and up, and that's actually the headliner, so I definitely like that. We actually have that today. It's very soft. I like it. Wireless phone charger coming on the premium trim level and up as well. So overall, when it comes to interior quality, it's pretty much got everything you could possibly want. So ton of storage just in front of the cup holders too. 12-volt power outlet, USB charging ports, of course, and that's where your wireless phone charger is located. To the right of the shifter, you do have those dual cup holders, and within the center armrest, actually a decent amount of space within there. So to actually open up these doors, by the way, from the inside, because everything's electronic on the new RX here, you simply just press in on the interior door handles and it's going to automatically open up then. So it's not actually a handle itself, it's kind of a button that you press to open the door, and it's kind of the same way on the exterior, but did want to mention that as well. And you do have home link controls to up to 3 different garage doors, and there's an overhead sunglass holder up there as well. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen. Now I will say, it probably took me longer to figure this one out than any other manufacturer. Not that it was difficult, it just takes a little bit longer, a little more getting used to, I guess you could say. So wouldn't have minded if Toyota set this up a little bit differently. But 9.8-inch color touchscreen display coming with the base and the premium, 14-inch color touchscreen display coming with the premium plus trim level and up. That's of course what you guys are looking at. Bluetooth and audio streaming also coming standard. Wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay standard for all trim levels across the board. So absolutely love that. Most manufacturers are still not making everything wireless like that, so I like that. Factory navigation system also coming standard. You can check out your driving statistics up there if you wanted to as well, along with your ambient lighting settings like I was just telling you guys. Also your radio information, of course. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are 12 speakers that come standard on all trim levels across the board. Having said that, there is an optional, of course, Mark Levinson sound system, 21 speakers, optional for the premium plus trim level and up. That also comes with 1800 watts. That's bonkers. But anyways, we got the 12 speaker sound system with us here today. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and enable the audio to start. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Honestly, even without it being Mark Levinson, that was a pretty good sound system for the RX. So Honestly, 12 speakers for, I would say, 90% of people out there is going to be perfectly fine. 12 speakers is a lot when most SUVs come with 8 speakers or something like that. So 12 is still almost overkill. 21 is ridiculous. So that was plenty good sound system actually for the RX, even with it being the 12 speaker one. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the RX in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Panoramic view monitor is going to be optional, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, the 2023 RX 350 is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS. So that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver's knee airbag, passenger seat cushion airbag, and rear side impact airbags. That last one's usually a $600 or $700 option with Mercedes and BMW, by the way. It comes standard on the RX 350. Also in the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also Lexus Safety System Plus 3.0. That's going to come standard for all trim levels. That includes dynamic radar cruise control with curve speed management. Thank you, somebody, for doing that. Thank you, Lexus. I'm telling you, when you got adaptive cruise control on and you're about to hit that turn and it's not really slowing down for you, that gets kind of scary. But pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist, road sign assist, and blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the RX, I like the front end a heck of a lot better. The whole redesign looks absolutely amazing. So very good looking SUV. Great safety as well. You can't beat an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, so I love that. Great interior quality as well. There's nothing wrong with the interior in this thing. Very luxury-esque. As far as room for improvement goes, the infotainment screen is probably the most cumbersome that I've come across. It takes a little bit of getting used to. There's a lot of different hidden areas that you have to get to, like the ambient lighting, for example. The other thing that's in the back of my mind with the new RX is this is the first year that the engine on the new 2023 RX 350 is now turbocharged, whereas in 2022 and previously it was a naturally aspirated engine. So that makes me question the reliability a little bit. But having said that, Lexus has always been known for their engines, and I'm sure they put a heck of a lot of testing behind this new turbocharged 4-cylinder, and they are, after all, still known for reliability. It's just traditionally, naturally aspirated engines last a little bit longer than turbocharged engines. So I'm just putting that out there. Let me know what you guys think of the RX 350 in the comment section below, and that is about it for this.